So I think when you do change work, and this is just a model, it's kind of arbitrary, but I think there are essentially four or five levels you can work at. You can work at behavior, meaning you can try to help people change their behaviors. You can work at the level of content, meaning you kind of concerned with what people are thinking and what happened and their past and their stories and their narratives. You can attempt to work with the structure of experience like they do in neurolinguistic programming. You can work at trying to change people's relationship to their experience, as they mostly do in things like acceptance and commitment therapy. And there's another vantage point, if you will, and that is to help people to realize the illusory nature of their experience. And when I say illusory nature, I don't mean non-existent, but I mean that what you seem to be experiencing is not actually what you're experiencing. Like it's not quite what it seems to be. And my claim is that the fact that we don't really the fact that we fall for some of these psychological illusions contribute to a lot of unnecessary suffering. I'll give an analogy of for this. So, for anyone listening to this, consider what it is that makes a nightmare seem so scary. The whole experience that you seem to have is illusory, meaning something's going on, but it's not what you think it is. You might think you're being abducted by aliens and that you're on this spaceship and that you are the character that all of this revolves around, and it looks completely real. But the whole thing is created by thinking. And what really makes it scary is just the fact that at the moment of thinking this, we don't know that the whole thing is created by thinking. And therefore, it looks as if what we're thinking is really happening and that we are the character that the whole shebang revolves around and that we need to escape and we need to fix things. And of course, the most elegant thing then is when we wake up from the dream because there's a relief, because there's suddenly this realization that, I was thinking. You don't need to then change the content of your thinking or try to work on it. And my argument is that most of the psychological suffering that people experience is like a day mirror or a thought mirror, meaning people's eyes might be open, but they're still lost in these thought generated illusions where their thinking looks completely real and it looks like who they fundamentally are. So the psychological illusion model then is when we do a seminar, it's about how you can help other people and yourself through various thought experiments and hypnotic phenomena and analogies in kind of artistic ways to wake up from the spell of being identified with thinking. That's essentially not so much about changing your thoughts or changing how you think or replacing one story with another, but about really waking up to the illusory nature of it to begin with and to have different ways to kind of help yourself to make that happen. And of course, again, the if you go back to the nightmare, the character called you, who's being abducted by the aliens, that looks like you. It looks like you are that character. But of course, that's just a thought, not seen as a thought. And another argument here is that so much of our suffering revolves around this character that we kind of take ourselves to be in various contexts. And there's a lot of gold to be found in being able to realize the illusory nature of that character. Um, so the psychological illusion model combines, insights from Eastern meditation practices and self-inquiry and non-duality and stuff like that with a kind of Western developmental psychology, uh, and even some new code NLP type framing, essentially. So it's an interesting mix for people who are a bit eclectic in their thinking and might be, open to kind of combining the East and the West, essentially.